You lot! Get under cover now! Get under cover! Down the street!
It's been reported that sounds similar to gunfire.
There's been a serious incident outside the Houses of Parliament.
The blood on the pavement was really, I have memories of.
At least 19 people have been killed and more than 50 others injured.
When you look to the right, there was like people covered in blood and then who were obviously injured, like running away. So then that's when you kind of thought, oh, like something has happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please leave the area for your own safety?
Just after we left King's Cross Station, headed to Russell Square, that's when there was a sudden impact. Playing at the back of my mind, I thought, I'm never going to see daylight again.
Over the last 12 months, the United Kingdom has suffered from 5 horrific terror attacks. These violent attacks saw 35 people killed and nearly 400 injured. This is the story of 3 different terror attacks through the eyes of 3 innocent witnesses. This is Rebecca. She's 52 from Dorset. On the 22nd of March 2017, Rebecca was at a meeting in Westminster. As her meeting came to an end, Rebecca got a taxi to Waterloo. This is a commute Rebecca does frequently. But on this day, Rebecca was witness to one of the worst attacks to hit the capital.
It was just outside the railings of Parliament, and I was in the back, and as you do, you sort of look at your phone, looked up and saw a car, a dark car, just crash into the railings. And I sort of thought, did I really see that? Must have looked down again, looked up again. There was a body on the ground on the right, and there were people trying to help people on the left. And we were sort of reflecting to each other, thinking, it's just driven down the pavement and crashed. And then, of course, we heard shots. We were so, in this cab, we were so on the scene that the traffic hadn't even been told to stop. We were there stopped because of traffic jams. But then the lights changed. And the taxi driver said, I think the best thing to do is actually to move away. So the taxi started going over the bridge, and that's when, moving extremely slowly, we just saw more and more and more bodies as we drove across the bridge extremely slowly. It really was probably minutes, but it seemed forever. It did seem forever. And then I thought, what did that really happen? Certainly when I've been to that bridge and done that journey, that has been quite strange in a way. I've done that journey hundreds of times, but now I expect to see the carnage rather than the peaceful scene that I do see. I feel lucky that I wasn't hurt. Could have easily been, but also there's a feeling of should I have done more. I know there wasn't, but there always is, isn't there? If you see somebody hurt and injured, there's always, I wonder. And then I think I wonder what happened to them all.
This is Louisa, 19 from Manchester. Louisa is a student in London and has been a fan of pop star Ariana Grande for years. Louisa and her 2 friends, Lucy and Liv, got tickets to see Ariana in autumn last year. On Monday the 22nd of May 2017, Louisa and Liv travelled up to Manchester to meet Lucy before heading to the Manchester Arena.
So the night was coming to an end, and then she ended up going off stage and then coming back on for an encore, performing Dangerous Woman. So it was about 10:30, and everyone started leaving, and then there was just a massive bang coming to the left. Where the exit was, people were jumping off the top of the stairs over like the railings down to the floor. There was like little kids getting trapped in between, and then you came out into where the waiting bit was, outside the arena, and it was just all like foggy and smoky, and it smelt really bad. And then when we were coming outside the arena, further up, because everyone was running away to get away from the arena, there was people kind of like on the side of the roads injured. The next day when I went home, like I wanted to be on my own for quite a while, and like my dad was checking on me, and then we went for a drive together. I don't know if I'd go back to the Manchester Arena, or I don't really like the idea of going to see like a performance at an arena. Maybe if it was a smaller gig, kind of the idea of going back to an arena does make me feel a bit wary or on edge type thing. You look at life with a different outcome than you did previously. Like you kind of think anything could happen at any time. You don't take stuff for granted.
With these attacks happening in the last few months, and hearing how Rebecca and Louisa dealt with their immediate aftermath, let's go back 12 years to the 7th of July, 2005. The 7/7 bombings killed 52 people and injured over 700 people. 47-year-old Steve Jackson from London was on the Piccadilly Underground line when the explosion went off. This is his story and how he now feels 12 years on from the attack.
Just after we left King's Cross Station, headed to Russell Square, that's when there was a sudden impact. And I was standing at that time, and it kind of jolted me and several other passengers. So we fell forward, then back. My first thought was the train's hit something. I thought it felt like it hit perhaps a wall. Then the lights went out, and that's when sort of there was an element of panic. And the next frightening moment was when an awful lot of smoke and soot was sucked into the carriage through the vents. I thought, to be honest with you, I thought, fuck, my time's up here. I really thought this was it. People were helping each other. It kind of got your focus off the thought, I think I'm going to die. Then it started to clear, and TfL staff and London Fire Brigade opened the doors, and we were all led out. I could see some people lying down further up the track, and I thought, this doesn't look good, and I thought, this isn't a fire. For a long time afterwards, I didn't go in the first two carriages of a train. I deliberately went towards the back of a train. That's how it affected me initially, over a number of years. Let me just have a moment. After the incident, I thought I was okay. I carried on as normal. I went to work. I didn't take any time off. And about 5 years afterwards, I had a sudden bereavement in my life. My best friend just suddenly died. And that triggered my anxiety and loss. I was feeling this immense level of guilt where it kind of overwhelmed me, and I was struggling to deal with those two things. And I was off for about 3 or 4 months. It was an incredibly traumatic time. I enjoy just the small things in life now. You've got to live your life, enjoy the small things, and appreciate that life can be fleeting, and none of us know what's around the corner. But don't look around the corner with any trepidation, with any anxiety.